Hello viewers, welcome. It's another great moment of No Fakes, the pjaspeaks. It's time again to hit the button of the share button, the comment section, and the like button. It's a time to make sure you are around the right gadget. That is a gadget that is the right gadget. Make sure you are around the right gadget. Call your family, call your friends, even your enemies. Everybody needs to be on board. The flight is about to take off. I don't know where you are right now, but I need your rapt attention for the next few minutes. The Lord is bringing to you a vital information that is tailored and orchestrated just for your purpose. I call it the customized information. We are going to be looking at a critical situation from the No Fakes interview section that we had. Why I am not yet married. And this question is coming from Nigeria, from Desmond Joshua. He said, as a pastor, as a prophet, as a man, are you subjected to the voice of your wife? If the answer is yes, then who is your wife to you? That is very deep, very enticing question and very thoughtful. In fact, it's already telling us the level of spiritual understanding that Desmond has. He has been able to separate between the man and the prophet. But before I begin to bring succor to this particular question, I would like to introduce you to definition of terms. Because when you understand the definition of terms, then responsibilities and authorities are already understood. Who is a man? Who is a prophet? And who is a wife? Then we are going to look at the word subjected to. We are going to put it under a deep X-ray and be able to pick the pieces that is involved in such a statement. He said, as a pastor, as a prophet, even as a banker, as an accountant, in any hemisphere you find yourself, that assignment you are given to, the question is, are you supposed to be subjected to your wife? Because you need to understand that a doctor is actually a calling. It is not everybody that is called to the field of medicine. And I want you to understand that you can never be an effective doctor without having the healing grace. It is not just the drugs that heals, but also the spirit of the man administering the drugs. If you come into a chemist and you happen to find me as a prophet and I'm prescribing drugs for you, you're about to die. Because that is not my field of calling. Though I have the virtue of the healing grace, but knowledge has not been given regards to that area. I can prescribe based on the spiritual intensity that is required from the spirit of the drugs to administer the healing. Because there is something such as the spirit of the drugs. Now, having understood that, let's begin to fly. Child of God, there is someone you are watching me now from the kitchen. This word is for you. There is someone you are watching me from the kitchen. Make sure you are paying rapt attention. Someone is watching me. You are lying down on your phone and your house is painted with a touch of the blue color. Your phone is on the floor. You are going to be saved from this voice. And so it's important that you give me a rapt attention. Who is a man? A man is a being that has three vital components: the spirit, the flesh, and the soul. The soul is the seat of emotions. The flesh is your passport to physicality. Without the flesh, you can't be seen. The spirit is the seat of thought. I need you to understand that the seat of the subconscious is also part of that system. The Bible said in the book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26, it said, let's make man in our own image. The making of the man was not a flesh man. The man that was formed was a spirit man. Dominion was never given to the physical man. It said, let him have dominion. Let them have dominion. That dominion was not to the physical man, it was to the spiritual man. And so if you are ever going to have dominion, you need to understand, Desmond, and everyone listening, family, you need to understand that the act of listening is a spiritual activity. Because it's not everyone that hears that has the ability to listen. The act of listening is a spiritual activity. And the seat of that is the soul of the man, which transfers the information to the spirit man. And the education process of the spirit man begins at that point. So if you are not a spirit being that has been trained to understand the act of listening, the seat of that information is going to stop at the state of the soulishness of the man. And at that state, the man does not have the information which has been given. And so you need to understand again which part of you got married. Child of God, in that marriage, oh my God, you that is the man listening to me now, you are fair in complexion and you are putting on a polo listening to me that has the color black. You have to know the part of you that got married. Is it the spirit? Is it the flesh? Is it the soul? Now, the part of you that got married goes a long way to determine the strength and the quality of the marriage. Not all marriages are of the same quality. The quality of marriage is purely determined by the section of you that was involved in that marriage. Before you selected the wife, were you able to conduct a board meeting that involves the spirit, the soul, and the body? If there was no such board meeting, then there was no unity in the decision making. And remember that a house divided against itself cannot stand. So we are trying to see who a man is. There is the made man. There is also the formed man. It was the formed man that the responsibility was given to. It was the formed man that needed the wife, not the made man. Because the made man already has dominion before the formation came in. And so now we have been able to define who a man is. I need you to also understand that man is a complex structure. So the man you are marrying, the woman you are getting married to, you also need to understand which part of the woman did you fall in love with. Is it the spirit of the woman? Is it the flesh of the woman? Is it the soul of the woman? The flesh talks about the curves. The biceps and the triceps are in alignment. The shape is perfect. That's the body. You can never be subjected to the voice of the body of the woman. Because there has been an already established examination center that tried the position of that body. And the resultant effect was that the flesh profits nothing. The words that I say to you, they are spirits and they are life. So you cannot be subjected to the voice of the flesh. You will be subjected to the voice of the flesh if you are carnal, because the carnal man can never understand the things of the spirit. The soul, many of us married because of the soul. The seat of intelligence. You look at her, you look at him, he has all the bullions of wisdom stored. He has the knowledge, the thinking ability. Went to the best of the schools on earth, graduated from the hands of the best minds. And these minds are the things that attracted you to this person. Have you forgotten that it was the mindset? And that's the set of the minds that was received by your spouse has limitations of the person that sets the mind. Because these minds are sets of instructions that have been given to the mind, to the soulishness of the man, which has been able to produce the man you are now seeing or the woman you are now seeing. When you pick up a textbook, never you believe that all the information you need about the subject matter is found in the textbook. The reason is that the textbook you are reading has a limitation of the writer. And I can assure you 100% that it's not everything that the man or the woman or the author of the book knows about that subject matter that was contained in that book. There are things he thought through that was never written. And so when you are getting married based on intellectual complexity, you also need to understand the limitations involved in your decision. Henceforth, we know no man after the flesh. That is why you will see highly intelligent, proficient men and women that have the best of the companies of the world, and yet they cannot keep one woman, and yet they cannot have just one family. Divorce cases is on the rise. The reason is that the frailty of man will always come to the display, because man is not subjected to the soul. Man is subjected to the spirit. The fullness of the mind is not a proof of the fullness of the spirit. If you now married because of the spirit, you also need to know that the person is versatile and prowess in the spiritual things does not give the pass mark for the physical and the soulish state of the man or the woman. You need to understand this. And so before that judgment was made, you need to call a round table meeting. Let there be a requirement to be met for the spirit of the man or the woman, for the soul and for the body. When you combine these things, giving an upper hand to the spirit, because it is the spirit that quickeneth. So the strength of the soul and the strength of the body, they receive their supply from the channels of the spirit. And when you have this understanding, you are already halfway to your success. Through headship, the man is not subjected to the wife, but is expected to give a listening ear to the wife. Now you said, as a prophet is a complex being, that a dimension of God had been factored into to understand the frequency and the vibrations of the spirit, so that direction and guidance will be provided to either a nation or an individual as a nation. Prophets are the voice of God that is visible. And so, there is a prophet's wife. If the person you are marrying is not a prophet's wife, if you give an ear to her sayings, either from the state of the body, the soul, or the spirit, you'll be receiving the advice from another field and another environment. And the voice is going to be neglected because it's not coming from the terrain of the prophet. There are evidences that houses the surroundings of a prophet. You must understand that. In the absence of those evidence, you cannot successfully say that that person is a prophet. This deep understanding is very vital to what you want to do. Desmond, you asked and you said, who is my wife to me? When I get married, the wife becomes the atmospheric condition that houses different possibilities, be it negative or positive. She is the atmosphere. She is the altar of the home. She is the altar of the home, because it is through her that calmness and peace will be introduced. And that is why the Bible said, a virtuous woman who can find, it said, for her children shall call her blessed. If she cannot generate the atmosphere that hosts the presence of God, you're in the wrong position. If you can understand this and put it into practice, I can assure you that you are making the right decision and you are moving towards the pathway of success. I need to let you know this, that even if you have married the wrong wife or the wrong husband, so long as there is a willingness to learn and unlearn, the reconstruction process and the reconfiguration process can kickstart, and you'll have a result that is positive at the end of the day. Child of God, make sure you hit the share button now. Give us a report on the visuals and the sound. We intend to serve you better from the Miraculous Studio. Until next time, shalom. God bless you.